You want me to just introduce myself first? I can do that.
Yeah.
Do I say I was the head coach?
Yeah, you could, right? And just talk.
I'm the head coach right now until May 11th. Like, my name is Becky Carlson, and I am the head women's rugby coach at Quinnipiac University. And it feels weird to say that because as of May 11th in 2026, I will no longer be able to say that. And we're sitting in a place right now that took 15 years to build and one day to dismantle. And to think about how many dreams and how many accomplishments and failure too that is taking place on this field in a good way. To have all of that erased is devastating. We're heartbroken. The team is heartbroken. And what you need to understand with all the questions, what you need to understand with all the questions surrounding the elimination of the program, it's important to know that there is a past here, and in order to be able to understand what's happening in the present, you need to have an understanding of the past.
You look at this piece of land here, and it wasn't always ours. And I think about the young women that have, walked over this land and have fought for this piece of real estate. This is what the vision is. I think this is quintessential Quinnipiac. It's, nestled beneath Sleeping Giant, and you have the crowd, and you have the foliage and the leaves changing. It's a pretty special place to be for the last 12 seasons.
Ladies, one team, one heartbeat. Let's do this. We are on a mission!
You think about building something, and you think about all the things that go into it, and trying to explain to people how hard that it's really been. And and people come out here and they watch and they see points being scored, and they just don't see the work that goes into making this happen. We're going to counter that with energy. There is no let up. This 40 minutes, I don't care what the score is, that's 0-0 as far as I'm concerned. We need to keep up this momentum because this is your house and this is your game.
There's nothing left when we step off of this field after 80 minutes. Win, lose, or draw, we leave it all out on that field.
It's gonna have to be a little bit of an adjustment, keep it in mind, but let's keep ball in hand, let's use our options, and let's get up the field. Let's play on their half.
We know they're gonna come and hit us hard. We're gonna go out there and hit them 10 times harder. We're gonna stay together, we're gonna communicate with each other, and we're gonna move that ball all day and put it in the try zone all day. Let's go, come on.
National champions, Quinnipiac!
This was the field that we won a national championship on against Dartmouth. I think that was right around the time that we started to see these recruiting techniques pop up at other places that would say, don't go to Quinnipiac. You'll never make Team USA. You won't have a chance to make Team USA if you go to Quinnipiac. And I can think of a really big reason why that's not true.
One-on-one in not surely going to stop Ilona Maher from there. They pressed and pressed and pressed the United States, and finally Australia broke.
You think about the culture that's been built here, and I think it goes all the way back to being in a room full of young women that have no idea how to play the sport and selling a dream.
It wasn't all that glamorous in the beginning, for sure, but we were getting sold this dream.
I don't know how they would characterize it, but it was almost as if from that very first meeting that I was selling a dream. And I knew that. Like that very first meeting that I had, I remember talking to them about the road of what it took to get there and how people had laughed at rugby and how we're not ready to see women be tackled on our campus.
When we have tackling,
they're not able to grab onto you and rip.
I'm sorry, did you say tackling?
I did say tackling. You do have this. That kind of made them turn to the side a little bit, like, what, are you serious? And I was like, well, we can be part of changing that. You can be the example. You can be the model out there. And if you want to be part of that, I'm all for it, but you got to do the work.
Coach was really selling the whole story and selling us the fact that we would be the second ever NCAA women's rugby team in the nation. That when we played Eastern Illinois University for the first time, it would be making NCAA history.
I think that was the moment when I saw many of them kind of perk up, like, okay, challenge accepted.
You either succeeded together or you got off the boat. And it was one or the other. It's either, come on, let's go, we're gonna do this and we're gonna finish it. And if you say no, then that group is gonna be like, all right, leave.
And it was the thing that kind of kept them coming back. Like, we wanna make history, that's what Coach told us, and we're gonna do it.
Team. Welcome to Quinnipiac.
October 24th, I am the new head women's rugby coach. Hey team, it's Coach Carlson, the new head coach of women's rugby at Quinnipiac University. I wanted to give you some insight into your new women's rugby leadership. It's an honor to be a part of the staff. It's really exciting to have this new program come about. I came from USA Rugby and I headed up the Emerging Sports Initiative to try to get more programs in the NCAA. So
it's all kind of cinematic looking back and just like being a part of that inaugural team.
Should we do it as a club team for a little bit and then you can get your feet wet? And I was like, no, this is how we're gonna do this.
Well, I definitely pretty vividly remember parts of her basically opening speech. And it was the pitch. She had just spent the last several years going to different conferences, going to meet with different athletic directors in universities and colleges around the country. And time after time after time, just hearing no, no, no. And then our athletic director said yes.
Women's rugby is a great, great event. We've had tremendous success already. Seeing these great crowds, the enthusiasm of the student athletes, the first team meeting with all these 60 young women come in for the meeting and they want to learn from which we think is the best rugby coach in the country, and Becky Carlson.
I don't think that the university and the administration at large really knew what they were getting themselves into at the time, especially with Coach Carlson spearheading that. I mean, the level of passion, ambition, and drive is just, it's unstoppable. So in regards to that, it's kind of like get with it or get lost. Coach had the vision of 10 years down the line, the day she stepped into that conference room.
She's ahead of her time. She questions things. She's got a natural curiosity.
It was an obsession. It really was. It was like, how am I gonna do this? They're giving me this number of people. I'm gonna have to pick.
The tryouts it was interesting. There was about like 60 to 70 of us, I would say.
And it was kind of organized, but mostly chaos.
I think that a lot of us were just happy to be on a team again.
If I can just make it as a walk-on and be athletic still, like that's all I initially wanted out of it.
I don't think that there was any expectation there was gonna be anybody that had ever picked up a rugby ball. But what I had gone through as an athlete and what my previous coach at EIU had done was found multiple sport athletes and taught them the game, and that was where we were gonna have to start.
We were all starting from the same level. We all didn't know the rules. So we all had previously played sports, but we were all starting from scratch.
One of the things we wanted to tell you about rugby is that we take athletes from all different sports. We have basketball players, lacrosse players, ice hockey, soccer, track. We've got a plethora of athletes here that make up for rugby, and we like to say that it's the grace of soccer, the speed of track, and the power of football. That's all of the talents combined. It's really interesting.
If you're able to take those skills that you've learned from those other sports, you can transfer that and apply it to rugby.
Practice was run that way as well. It was very much, we're focused, this is the goal.
The technical piece is I can teach you that. It's more that work ethic that you're looking for, that will and that want to play.
I was looking for kids that wanted to grind it out. And my initial impression was, okay, if this is what they want, if they want 60 players on this team, they're gonna have to be 60 people that genuinely want to be here and genuinely have the stuff that it takes to be here.
The first couple tryouts or practices were pretty much based on agility, endurance, and getting a feel of where everyone's coming from, what is the actual athletic ability of these, pretty diverse candidates.
You actually have to work. This is going to be something like an after-school club. That's not what we're doing.
After a while, it just all started clicking together, and you could see some girls were picking it up quicker than others, but eventually we all just got to the point where it all made sense and everything just came together.
I think we go back to the whole idea that we started with 60 and we ended up with 12. We call them the Dirty Dozen.
The Dirty Dozen, we were the heart and soul. We got through the gauntlet.
The Dirty Dozen.
Oh.
You suck! Crossing on her phone.
Out of about 70 female athletes, only 12 of us made it through.
My name is Colleen Doherty.
Hello, my name is Emily Carroll.
Hi, my name is Megan Hanneman.
Hi, my name is Alicia Andrews. Hi, my name is Jacqueline McCleary. Hi, my name is Katie Wood. Hi, my name is Marie Pescatore.
You had to prove yourself day in, day out, every early morning rise.
They watch people drop every single day. We would be in the middle of conditioning and someone would just walk off and I'd be like, we're gonna continue again. And it was something that I think they had a lot of pride in, even though sometimes it was really exhausting. They're like, oh, we lost, another person's gonna come in, another person's gonna come out, because we had tryouts that just continued. So it was a revolving door, but those 12.
In that first fall, what kept you coming back? Because if there's 60 to 100 people, clearly a lot of people didn't keep coming back.
So I think that I really missed being an athlete and missed being a part of something that was just a little bit bigger than myself. We had the unique opportunity to lay the foundation of this program.
It was like them constantly having to prove themselves, and I think they felt that on campus, and they brought it out to practice. They're like, yeah, we're tired, and yeah, we're exhausted, and yeah, we don't know anything about what we're doing right now, but we do have something to prove.
We were not scholarship athletes. We were not recruited to come here.
There was no direction there, so we were just trying to figure all that out, and their uniforms were they're awful.
It wasn't cute.
And they would laugh about it. They didn't have anything, so anything was something.
We knew that whatever we got was gonna be better than we had before.
Practices back then are probably a little bit different than practices now.
It looked like getting up at 5 in the morning, and I'm not talking about 5 in the morning to get to practice. I'm talking about practice starting at 5 in the morning because we had no field space.
At first, we're like, this is crazy. But then after a while, you start thinking about it, and it's like, this sets us apart. Nobody else on campus is doing this. We're the ones that are getting up the earliest, working the hardest, and we're already halfway through our day by the time that most college students are probably even waking up to start their day.
We were the new kids on the block to begin with, so it was like, they're just a bunch of walk-ons. They're not even real athletes.
I think at one point there was a little bit of grumblings because what we were doing is practicing on the men's practice soccer field. I remember there vividly being an email. They're like, hey, I heard that rugby's making their home out on the practice field. Can we make this stop? And I was like, no, we're actually not going to make this stop.
I think she let us see behind the curtain a little bit to say, this is what you're up against.
I don't know if I understand the sport and what's going on, and they just seem so fierce and so determined.
It was an education that we're here and we're actually part of the athletic department, and we're not going to go away. We're not just going to disappear and go into the woods.
Unless we advocate for ourselves, unless we show up, unless we're loud, we're not going to get the resources and the access to amenities that we deserve and that we should have.
And we're going to want more. We're not just going to take what you give us. The athletes on this campus don't know that now. They don't know what that evolution was like. They don't know a Quinnipiac without rugby. The Quinnipiac I came to had never known rugby.
I hope that they look back and are thankful to the people that put in the hard work, especially Coach.
To be able to say that we took a group of walk-ons and transformed them into the athletes that are able to acquire a trip to the championship is pretty amazing. They've done an incredible job.
Going into 2012 and 2013, there was this unique opportunity where no one expected anything of us. We were expected to get smoked again by these other programs. We added a couple recruits, but fundamentally and at the core, it's still the same group of athletes competing.
We were 3-6-1 the first year, and then we have this team meeting when they come back, and they're all pumped because they've been around for 6 months and they're part of the athletic department and they feel really good about themselves. So I go to the whiteboard and I put, goals up there. And then I erased goals and I put mission.
We walked in with a mission. We wanted to beat them. That was the season in 2012 that we said, you know, this is the year that we're gonna win.
I wasn't gonna throw that up there and put that in their face. They put that there.
It was kind of this, we could do something.
And they were 100% of the belief that they were going to win.
There's no reason why we can't be better than anyone else. There's no reason why we can't beat EIU, who beat us by 65 points the last time we played them a few months ago. There's no reason why we can't go out and give everything we have, and if we play our game and execute right, there's no reason why we can't win.
We went through that second season. We played the first game at my alma mater.
Come support us as we face Eastern Illinois tomorrow, Saturday, October 15th at noon.
The game was close, and I remember going through the game thinking, like, we have a chance to win. And I just remember, you know, Colleen Doherty going through, she made it through a tackle or a ruck, and we were exhausted. We were playing this game in 7s. It wasn't the traditional 15s.
Colleen runs one direction, and Nancy just instinctively runs the opposite and calls for it, and her hands were like Velcro, and she takes it, cuts through this hole, and we win.
You know, after that first win for us against EIU, that's what really sparked and invigorated and said, hey, this is our opportunity to create a legacy. This is our opportunity to put our name, our brand on something, make a statement to not only the university, but to the rugby community that if you do it right, and you put your heart into it, there's no reason why you can't do it.
Keep the chalk up. Everybody has to hold the bag at one point.
Even looking back at pictures of us walking in to play games and things like that, we were in 2x2, and we were all together, uniformed, we looked exactly the same, and we were intimidating walking onto a field, or at least I think so. Maybe we need to get the opinions of some other teams, but I think even if you don't have the talent, you can make up for it in other ways, and making sure that you're all working collectively as a team and working towards that mission.
That's fast forward to around 2013 in the fall. You know, we struggled in that space. This is really where full on, we're seeing a full recruiting class come in, and we've still got players from the remaining Dirty Dozen. And that was such a delicate time period because you still want to reward those people that have been there, and you want to still tell them that, you know, that they're the leaders.
When you got here, there were players on the team who literally founded the program.
Mm-hmm.
What did you learn from them?
The fact that they stuck it out, and we know how hard, like that was one of the first things Carlson showed us when we came in as freshmen, was their program video. We know how hard she pushed them, and the fact that there was only 12 of them left at the end of it really, you know, says something about how they didn't care that they didn't know the sport.
And I think with that tight core of 12, when we added, you know, 2 or 3 recruits here, when we added another walk-on or 2, it was kind of like trial through fire for those people where we were like, hey, we've been through this, you need to go through it too, and if you make it, then you're in with us. Like, and there's no breaking that bond, and it was that core and that foundation and that solidarity where we were able to build exponentially with it.
They're athletic, they were gonna be here and they were gonna stick it out. So I think they had a lot of grit, and I also think that they taught me personally a lot about just the respect for the game and the respect for people who, even if they're not maybe technically as skilled as you are, they were still here first. They still founded this program. They were still good enough to do what I'm doing at the same time.
Is it wild for you to think of that's where this program started?
Oh, it's night and day. Like, it is. And I mean, like, I love the Dirty Dozen. I will talk about us all day long. We would never be on the same level as the teams that have come through the program since then.
1, 2, 3.
We are on mission!
And then they have people coming in that have a higher game IQ than them. So you had to be so careful. It was really an interesting time period for us, and we had to tread carefully.
Tell me about losing to Navy in 2013.
The Elite 8, we were playing at West Point. It was freezing cold, and it was a mixture of like that misty rain that you can just see in the lights.
And we're playing against Navy. We're not playing that well. Jen Solomon goes out, breaks her ankle. It was a real morale killer for us, and we're playing Navy, and we lose. And this is to go to the national.
Couldn't tell you what the score was, but I can tell you that afterwards, even though it was freezing cold and raining, we all sat down right in front of the scoreboard. And
we lose that game. I remember going over and I was getting ready to say something and I hear Taylor go, "We are never fucking losing to Navy again."
Yeah, I was a freshman and I was really pissed off because we should have beat Navy. There's no reason that Navy should have beat us.
And I was like, well, that'll do it for the speech. And it wasn't like everyone was feeling shameful about it. They were like, she's right.
I don't really remember a lot of the wins. I mean, I do, but like it's not as vivid. I could tell you the temperature probably on a scale of every loss we ever had.
That in itself, I think, ignited them quite a bit to get so close and then not get there.
It doesn't really matter what you deserve if you don't show up and you don't put the work in when you need to. It doesn't really matter if you deserve to win or not. You didn't. So we needed to be told that, I think.
And then the very next year, I said, we went to nationals. Everybody else goes to nationals, they get a bonus. Where's my bonus? Jack was like, I think the rule is that you don't play enough NCAA teams. And I was like, oh, all right, well, we can do that. So then I crafted out the schedule and was playing more teams.
We have our best recruiting class coming in this year and also one of the most competitive NCAA women's rugby schedules in the country.
It was no question the way that they evolved in a very fast time. I mean, it was quick. And everyone, there's obviously a jealousy thing. And I remember sitting and thinking, oh, people are jealous. She came right in here and did this.
The plan was to have all NCAA teams and then have an NCAA conference and then eventually to where we are now. Like that was what it was supposed to be. So I think it went from we're gonna win conference to there should be no doubt that we should win this and go further to there's a national championship somewhere here.
There's a spanner in the works, you know. You gotta step up your game to make it to the top. So go.
We have to believe that there's people out there that want to start some fires with us. Like, we have to believe in that.
The word kept coming up, like, oh, I believe we could do this. Oh, like, if we believe, you know, and it kind of kept surfacing. And finally we were like, I mean, that's our word. That's it. That's us right now is believe. Like, there's no reason why we can't do anything when we set our mind. We believe it. I believe in you. I believe in me. I believe in the coaches. And it was organic. It was something that resonated with us because we created it.
It wasn't like I came to everybody and said, guys, this is our new word. It's believe. It just happened.
It's so much more than just the word believe. It's believing that all of that is possible, that you can build an NCAA women's rugby program that's successful, that people care about, that people are interested in.
For us, I think it was just believing that this group of people could come together and create a program that could win games, win championships, and believing in that in ourselves and believing that it's maybe not always power in numbers, but like believing that it's just power in people and power in who you have.
They loved it because they did. They had nothing in the beginning but their self-belief. They didn't have anyone here that believed in them. And so it was something we kind of held on to.
You know, when we were bringing more student athletes on in the next following years, it was getting them on board with that and what eventually became our mission.
We are on a mission!
The mission was so much more than winning a national championship. It's the mission of life. It's the mission of keeping this prestigious program going and making it bigger and better every year and putting back into it what you got out of it. But nothing beats winning. So those things, they encompass a lot more. But when it comes down to game time, when it comes down to that hour of pregame that we have, we go out in the field, we do our stretching, whatever it is, those words are strictly, for me personally, they're strictly about the idea that I'm gonna win and nothing's gonna stop us from getting that W because we put in the work to be here. It's very simple and our mission is very clear, win.
We're on the mission to achieve a national championship. We're on a mission to be undefeated. We're on a mission to be the most successful program this program's seen.
We went to the nationals in the second year and we were 15-1. That's kind of where they were like, all right, we're on the up and up. We just went to nationals. And then in 2014, we went down to Florida. We played Penn State in the semis and we lost there and it was so close. It was just like right, we could really taste that. And that's when we were like, this is done. We don't want to be doing this spring stuff anymore. That's what club teams said. We want a fall championship with just NCAA teams.
You know, it's so wild because I've been in like 3 different national championships games with Quinnipiac that it's like hard to tell which one happened where. For the one at Brown, I don't know, all I just remember is like how hard we had to work.
The first one I think was the hardest one, physically, that we had to overcome a lot of difficulties.
Rain was just coming down.
And it was really muddy.
There was no traction. It was a bit of an equalizer in speed because no one was scoring down the sidelines.
Just felt like a classic rugby game you see in the movies where it's in slow motion, they're bashing bodies, and the rain's coming down and there's spit everywhere. Like, it was really a battle out there.
I remember that Army's pack was really kicking our ass in the scrums. And lineouts were terrible because of the conditions.
Everything from Army just dogpiling on low, having 4 or 5 players on her at all times, and we just play this back and forth game in the middle of the field.
We scored and traded points back and forth, and then finally it was like maybe 20 minutes into the second half.
It was Army's ball, and we thought for sure they were gonna kick it out of territory and probably go for touch. And Carrie just stole the ball back, she flipped the scrum around, ball goes out, it gets into Emily Roscopp's hands, and we score. And I think it was that moment, I was like, we're not gonna lose this game. Like, it is just not gonna happen. They are going to scratch and claw their way through.
Ruck after ruck after ruck, and just setting the line, spreading out, setting the line, tackle.
Everything they could throw at us, they threw at us, and we just wouldn't give in.
And finally, we had like 20 seconds left, not even, and we jackled and stole the ball back. We pitched it to Maggie, and Maggie kicked it out, and the whistle blew, and we were like, no fucking way.
When that kick went up, and maybe even just a little bit before that, Becky, I think, held up a T-shirt, maybe, or something.
Shirt, the big old yellow one, the ugly yellow one, yeah.
Right.
I just remember after that game how wet and muddy we were, but like all our family was so excited, and they were ready to stand out in the rain for hours just to watch us play.
Before that game, what we had done is we had all the families ordered T-shirts that said, I believe, and then they had their number on it. And the athletes didn't know that. We wanted to have that show of solidarity for them, and so they were over on the sidelines before the game, and all the parents lined up, and I had their attention this way, and I was like, I want you to know that you guys have a lot of people that are fighting for you today. And they looked over on the other side of the sidelines, and they're all standing there in their stuff, and they were like, oh my gosh. I remember Maggie Miles thought her family wasn't even gonna make it, and she saw all of them wearing number 6, and they were like ready to go tear somebody apart, like just for them, right? So I think that it was for the team to see it, but it was for the parents that were standing over there with Believe, and I was like, we're gonna do this. Like, I remember it was holding it up more for them so we could support what was happening in the middle. And it was really just a really cool connectivity moment.
Inaugural national champions, Quinnipiac!
Welcome back to Bobcats Weekly. We welcome in Becky Carlson, the newest member to the National Championship Club. And Becky, we talked a little bit about this last week. This is the inaugural National Championship for varsity rugby. Now that you've had time to really digest this championship, what does it mean to you at this point?
I think there's a lot of pride that's brought home to Quinnipiac, and I think it's an amazing feeling, and I know the team is really feeling it, and when we get back from break, it'll give us a chance to take a deep breath and look at this a couple more times and then enjoy it.
Our athletes kind of start recognizing that, you know, we had plenty of hype to us existing in our first game, and they gave out T-shirts and they did all this stuff, and then it kind of just died and it went away, and they were seeing ice hockey, basketball, ice hockey, basketball.
The 2015 Women's Rugby National Champions, congratulations.
Thank you.
When we come back to Bob,
we didn't have a box score in the school's paper. Q30 didn't mention us. It was very weird. It was like we were at least in the conversation loop the year before.
Do you think it's done its job?
I think it has. I think this is only going to go up from here. And I think that the exposure for varsity rugby is going to be a very positive thing for the women's game.
And so here's me being like, you're making history, you're doing all these fantastic things, but they're not feeling validated with all the other evidentiary support that all the other teams have that they're seeing.
It was a topic of interest because, like I said, when I got here, I felt like we were going to win. That was the feeling the whole time. That was the goal. And that next year, we were still winning all the time and still getting even better than the previous year. And it was like, why doesn't anyone want to see that?
That was when they started asking questions, and then they started doing research, and they started looking at how many times teams that were not ice hockey and basketball were featured. So they took on the student media, and they wanted to have a sit down between Ken Sweeten and QBSN, like all those. So they sat down, I didn't say a word, and they presented the data.
I know people from those teams, and we've all had conversations about it, and the coverage and equality here, recognition just doesn't really exist.
I always felt that I looked back on my student athlete experience and we understood where we fell on the totem pole as far as other sports at Eastern Illinois, and it never really gave us a shot to kind of advocate for ourselves. And I was like, that is never gonna happen. Like if I can have any influence here to be able to spark some conversation between them, to understand the dichotomy of who matters and who doesn't on this campus, like that's what we're gonna do.
I think she let us see behind the curtain a little bit to say, this is what you're up against. She spoke a lot about Title IX, and I think a lot of us for the first real time kind of understood that.
Coach Carlson was always saying we have to advocate for ourselves, we have to speak up.
You know, when young women that are champions know that they're champions and they start to gain a little bit of that self-belief, you never want to do anything that stifles that level of self-belief.
It was palpable how important this was to Coach, but also how she made it important to us.
Taylor, I'm gonna show you some of the responses from social media from some of your fellow students.
Nobody cares about women's sports. It's not mean, it's just the truth. Get your head out of the sand and realize you won't be praised for athletic accomplishments the way men are.
Really fed up with people thinking that this is us whining that we did get recognition for winning a national championship. That is not what this battle is about, okay? It's about equality on a whole other scale. Because we know people at our school care about us. They want to know more about us. So don't say that people don't care about women's sports, because that is not true. And if people are willing to see that change and embrace that change, instead of sticking their head in the sand, whoever said that, that is not the correct terminology, because if you're sticking your head in the sand, that means you're ignoring everything. So you're the person ignoring it, and our heads are up.
I think it's especially hard to stand up because of that backlash, but I think that it's something necessary to do, because otherwise, if you don't do anything, nothing's going to change, and there needs to be a change.
It was an interesting experience. I think maybe we could have handled it a little bit differently. Looking back at it, maybe didn't have to be so grand scale of like the whole team walking into this office, and it was like a negotiation table. They sat on this side with like 3 people, and then literally all 26 of us were like crammed in on this side.
Ken and I stayed completely out of it, and they just rocked the meeting. And it wasn't about emotion, it was, these are stats. This is data that you can't refute. And so I think that that set this whole thing in motion.
I think it was necessary. Like I said, could have been done differently, but I think the impact that it had was really important.
So much of that is this domino effect that I wanted them to be aware of and how they fit into like the circle of life on this campus. And it had to be an education on Title IX. That was how it all evolved and why it became, you know, kind of us versus the university.
It just felt really good to be seen and heard, and it definitely changed.
I wanted to be a big part of why our name was on the map. You know what I mean? Like that opportunity for me spoke a lot more than I think all of the other factors. I mean, when I came on my visit, it solidified that for me. The structure is what I want. The competitive level is what I want. And the opportunity, like I said, to feel like I'm a big player in something that's going to be so great so soon was something that really definitely drew me.
A national championship, a 10-game winning streak dating back to 2015, and an offense that's outscored its opponents by more than 140 points this season. But what's the one thing it's missing? A home field of its own.
In 2016, we played the entire season with no field. We played every single game away that year. And I think that was an extra chip on their shoulder, the fact that they were doing this and they were winning and that they were doing it with no home base.
We're grateful for what we're given, but at the same time, it is hard to take day-by-day practice into a game situation when we're not given a field big enough for us to practice on.
We got to the point where it was like, we are incredibly well prepared, we know what we're doing, and we're gonna win. If you wanna take that from us, you're gonna have to show up and you're gonna have to prove it.
We always have some type of adversity that's attached to our story. And right now, the points aren't the adversity, the other teams aren't that adversity. Right now, this is part of our story. So it's kind of like a movie where we can just kind of roll with it and keep pushing through and put points on the board, and people are saying, wow, they didn't even have a home field. And that's kind of what I've said to the team.
America especially loves winners, and we were winning. It was good rugby.
So Central Washington was the finals.
Are we really gonna go back-to-back?
We're down at halftime.
I think we had to work through a lot ourselves in the locker room. There's a lot of pressure, we feel it, we know that's what's expected of us, like, can we do it? That's what everyone's talking about.
And we just knew, like, we gotta outlast and we have to be first to the breakdown. We're not protecting the ball, we need to keep ball in hand, we need to get down the field. And I walk over and immediately Taylor's getting ready to talk. And I'm like, hey, everybody listen up. She's like, Coach, we got this. And I was like, okay. And she's like, guys, and she said exactly what Colleen and Brad and I had talked about. It was like this proud moment where you as a coach just you're exploding with this, I have the keys, and they're like, no, the door's already open. Like we're past that. So it was this amazing moment, and I was like, we're gonna win. And so we got back out there, and they just put points on the board, and it's probably one of the most fantastic highlight reels between Emily Roscoff just high-stepping and Lo just stiff-arming, and Mason scoring, and Flora just being as flawless as she always was. Like, it couldn't have been written better.
Everyone always likes to look at us at the underdog and blah, 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 but I never felt like we were, because we had that kind of core energy where it's like, no, we're good. We'll figure it out before it comes time for postseason. We'll be okay.
I think that was a really, really big deal, because at that time people were like, they got lucky that first year. Conditions were bad, Army's better. Like, it was just everything about us winning that second national championship still didn't earn us any credit, and not within the rugby community anyways. 1, 2, 3, go!
Ilona Maher.
The last one, the big old one, I actually think that one's the easiest one, because there was no pressure from us inside. We just felt it.
I don't think we were ever like, yeah, we're gonna win the first one, and then the second one, and then the third one. We just kind of took that game by game. But in the meantime, you're with 18 to 22-year-old women who all handle that pressure differently. All have certain aspirations for what they want to accomplish.
We had so many different types of personalities that finding a way to win, finding that solid, core line that we could hold on to and just ride together to get from point A to point B in the season.
That's really when, you focus so much on the winning, and all of a sudden it starts to look a little bit easy. And that's really when culture can really take its biggest hits. It kind of sneaks up on you, and you have to be really mindful of that. And you have somebody who eventually would go on to be in the Olympics and be one of the most recognizable faces in the world for women's rugby. And then you have Miku Maples playing right next to her that just picked up a rugby ball 8 minutes ago. And then you have somebody as stoic and focused as Emily Roscoff, who you're gonna have to really work to get something out of her in terms of that communication, because she is so focused. And then you've got Flora, who just wants to go out and smash. And you have all these different personalities and these behaviors, and really managing all of that is it's really difficult. We played 9 games, we were like 9-1. Dartmouth had played 4, and they were seeded #1 because they beat us in the beginning. And the 80s were like, we couldn't imagine making Quinnipiac the first seed when they lost to Dartmouth. They just couldn't take strength of schedule into account. They just wouldn't do it. And again, it's something I went back to the team with, and I was like, guys, it doesn't matter what they think. They're never gonna see you as the champions that you are, so you just have to go out and continue to play. It's not about their stupid rankings. It's not about their politics. This is about us. And that was a big welcome onto our home field when we had our own field next year. And Taylor said it, she's like, we're not losing. We're not losing at home.
Nothing exists outside of the next 80 minutes of our lives right now. We do not save ourselves. We do not put anything in the tank. There's nothing left when we step off of this field after 80 minutes. Win, lose, or draw, we leave it all out on that field. We do not lose at home, and we do not lose that fucking championship. Let's go.
I'm proud of all of them, and I'm proud that I won each and every one of them with the team that we won them with.
The first national championship, we didn't feel that we had really any of that recognition, and they kind of learned their lesson in 2016 and showered us with some love and put us at a halftime of a basketball game and that kind of stuff, and then whatever. And at that point, they had grown beyond like wanting the recognition. It was all about just them and what they thought about their performance.
I am pleased to announce the
2017 NIRA National Championship Most Valuable Player is Ilona Maher from
You know, what I still see today is people not treating women's rugby in that way, treating it as just a fun team where people get together and they have fun. But I'm just proud that we created a team of athletes who are dedicated to being the best athletes they can. And we were there for a purpose. We were there for a mission, as we called it, because I think we did something really great there for the game of rugby, especially college rugby. And I'm super proud that, you know, every season we did win that championship whenever we set our mission to.
You know, you think about winning 3 national championships and you go into the 18-19 season and you know that you're gonna rebuild. And then at the end of that season, you know, not the finish that we had imagined. We had many new players. I lost Colleen.
As great as Coach Carlson and I got along and we loved working together, she always told me, like, you're not sitting in that chair forever.
Like, you need to get out of here. Like, you're too big for this. Like we don't keep good people here.
You can't just go out and see what happens. You need to bring people up, you know. It's how do you get someone else on board? And, you know, I went to LIU. I started going, I have one of my old athletes. She's coaching now in New York. You know, I've been trying to connect her with some other college coaches to help so she can help high school students get to the college level and continuing that pathway.
You know, that was emotional for me because that had been somebody who was here from the beginning. You know, losing someone who finished your sentences and then not really having the same connection to the legacy in the same way. We didn't have the same messages trickling down in the same way that we had in previous years. So it was really a challenge to get them to see and want that same stuff. And it was almost like a pushback, almost like, we're not them. Like, we're not them, don't expect us to be. And I had to back off a little bit and kind of let that fall from grace happen.
National championships are fun and they're exciting and it's something to hang your hat on, but ultimately, I think keeping that culture alive is a much bigger challenge.
Our other big story this morning, the coronavirus here in Connecticut.
Quinnipiac University is reporting 212 active coronavirus cases as of Friday. The school has upgraded its campus alert level from orange to red. Under new guidelines, the college is asking students to restrict social activities to only those they live with. Students are required to remain in their university housing from 10 p.m. until 5 a.m.
I would say that pandemic was probably one of the most damaging things to happen, not only to the world, but I mean with college athletics and especially within our culture. I mean, we were a team that relied on the closeness, not on talent, but on the closeness to creating strong teams that might be less talented, but have the work ethic. And when you take that connectivity away, it's really damaging.
Her and I have a similar sense of wanting to be doing and taking action and making things happen. And you can't do that in COVID. And you then think, okay, well, we'll just try to make it normal for everybody.
The pressure of what it's gonna look like when they come back and having no answers and what is it gonna feel like when they get back out on the field after not having been out there? And how do you keep a team together that can't touch one another and has to be 6 feet apart? And how do you present not just to the athletes that know what their college experience is supposed to look like, but to new athletes that have no idea what it looks like?
We couldn't find the temperature of the room. Do you make everything as normal as possible? Do you step back and just care and listen? What do you do? And I think the hardest part was every day that was a different answer.
And then what happens? You bring them back and they're able to touch each other again, and now all of a sudden the rules are getting a little more lax and they're experiencing life again, and everything is calling to them to isolate, and I'm like, let's be together. You spend 2 hours, 3 hours a day with them, and the other 21 is just wherever it is. And you just have to pray sometimes that that's enough time to have that impact, that they understand what the bigger picture looks like without you having to constantly remind them.
I really think we have so much potential in our team, and our new freshmen that are coming in next year and the freshmen that we got this year, I think we can really make a really strong team to get that championship next year.
My national championship gear sits on a shelf in my house. I don't wear any of it. I haven't worn it for a long time. I knew that their drive and their desire had to come organically, because I know that there was this consistent feeling that was like, you're expecting us to be them. And so you have to adapt when those new groups come in.
I'm not like big for talking after games, like I just really want to be left alone, but the only thing that Coach came up and said to me is, she just goes, rings next year. And that's just been the mentality.
It's like, you don't want to press that. Okay, I'm in, good. That's your decision. Like, you want rings? I'm in.
She has to adapt, like I said, to the way the world is. And There's a lot less pressure, I think, that's acceptable to put on players now.
Every heart that beats inside of the uniforms is the same. And like that part of it is something that you hope like carries on. And every year you have to fight to maintain that.
It is different out there. It's a different world. People don't just put up and shut up anymore.
As a coach, like your biggest reward is to know that like you left them with something. Like there's something that they remember in their experience that they can hold on to. And those relationships and that loyalty being really, really fragile, you have to work so much harder than you ever had to before to keep those relationships intact and to try to build something.
People need to look at the opportunities that they have and understand that those opportunities are only there because at some point someone did shut up and just do their job. Not only is it beneficial for me to continue that, but how is it beneficial for the program? How is it beneficial for the things that, again, gave me these opportunities? How can I give back in some way that is productive for that and conducive to continue it so that other girls, other women, other people have the same type of opportunity that I did?
And I think that's part of the reason that we want to document this and talk about how it started and to really connect those dots together of the current team. And they may not see many minutes of even themselves on this in particular, but it's all about them. It will always be about them. Whether it's me in this chair or someone else in the future, it will always be about that current team.
She makes this program so much more special because of the things she does off the field, which is really important to me because it's the whole experience you get.
You know it after the fact, you don't always know it in it, but Coach Carlson, like once you are one of her athletes, once you've worked for her, she will always, always, always go to the ends of the earth for you.
There she was picking me up and saying, come on, Coach, this is nothing compared to you and I building sports for women across this country. The resistance we've received, this is nothing, you got this. That's who she is, she's just a champion.
I think she loves it. You know what I mean? She genuinely has a love for the game. She genuinely has a love for the kids that come through this program. I didn't feel it all the time, but you know what? Especially looking back, I recognize it.
You're gonna come across people all the time that they work with that are gonna be tough to work with and that have expectations and that have standards. But again, like I said earlier, I don't want to ever take that away from them. I want them to challenge the people in the boardroom.
Having Coach as a strong influence in my life for, 3 of those years profoundly influenced who I am as an adult, how I am professionally at work, why I think I have a yearning to challenge authorities, to challenge the systems that I'm in. We've always been doing it this way, so that's how we're doing it. May I ask why? Do we think there might be a better way?
One of my memories that I always talk about and laugh about was from probably our second or third week of tryouts, we were doing a very basic passing drill where it's you catch the ball from one coach and then you need to pass it to the other coach and you keep running. And I think we went through it like 2 or 3 times. And my next time I went up, I caught it and I passed it to Coach Carlson and she goes, "Hey!" And I was like, oh God, what? And she goes, "That wasn't terrible." And that was my first compliment. I think one of the first compliments Coach Carlson ever gave out at that point. And it was, "That wasn't terrible, you don't suck" comment. And it still stuck to me to this day.
They'll tell you something. I liked Coach a lot more after I graduated. I had a different relationship with Coach after I graduated. Would I say that every kid that I have coached in the last 12 years has liked me? No.
There was definitely some times where maybe I didn't like Coach Carlson as we were waking up at 6:30 a.m. or as we were forced to do dry season, There's definitely some moments like that, but as there are with any coaches, and I think she doesn't need you to like her or to, oh, she's the best coach in the world. Like, she's there to create a program, to get a job done, to fulfill a mission. And I think she's really stuck by that and stuck by what she believes as a coach.
It's not fate. Not everybody can meet Coach's personality in that way that her and I figured out. But she always pretty much has a coaching staff around her, a support staff with her, that if you're not as confrontational as she or me, then you can go to them and kind of use that as a mouthpiece with her. So I think a mix of being adaptable and genuinely giving a shit has made her longevity here possible, but also made it still, a winning, viable program.
It's hard to articulate and put into words the amount that Coach Carlson has done and the impact that it has had, because so much of it you don't get to see. And she's going to be so mad that I'm saying this because she hates the credit, so she doesn't ever try to talk about it.
And whenever, young girls will come up to me like, oh, I'm thinking of going to Quinnipiac, like, what's the deal with Coach Carlson and what's the deal with the program? And I say, hey, look, you might not like Coach Carlson all the time, but like the things that you'll do there and the opportunities you'll get through that program and through that college won't be found really at any other program in the country, and I 100% believe that. And I mean, I'm eternally grateful for her, because I think a big reason I am where I am today is because of her, and the big reason that I speak my mind and have turned into this person is because of what I went through there.
It's why this program is what it is. It wouldn't be the same without her. It wouldn't be nearly what it was without her, because of her relentlessness, her do or die attitude, and the I don't care what it takes, but it's gonna get done.
I think a big part of this is I want our players now to see the commonality that they have, no matter what the record looks like from year to year. And that's how I think we sustain culture.
It was always the dream to be the model, and I want that to stay alive. And for a long time, I used to think that if I wasn't doing this, would the game survive in an NCAA capacity? And I don't think that anymore. I definitely think that it goes on with or without me. I think the biggest miss for me, whenever it is that I decide to go, is that feeling that you've completed the mission, but you've also given something back to your athletes that they take with them for the rest of their lives. Coaches leave all the time, and they do things differently in their lives. They take different paths, and it's like athletic world just keeps moving. They just keep moving. And I think the biggest fear of some coaches is, that things just keep moving, and their impact is something that isn't felt anymore. And that's kind of what we were going for when we, especially as a staff, when we started this. So you hope that your imprint on them is enough.
That whole belief of there's no reason why you can't do something. The only thing that's ever going to be stopping you is you.
Really pushing yourself further, and even if you think something's not accomplishable, keeping at it until you get it.
It was a thrill to be here, and I don't see how, if Quinnipiac rugby didn't exist, I don't know where I would be and what I would be doing, but I know that I wouldn't have these, and I wouldn't have the friends that I have and the support group that I have.
Being a part of this team and this program, and having Coach as a strong influence in my life for 3 of those years.
I have a huge affinity for this program, a love for this school. I got a tattoo on my hip because I love the program so much to my dad's chagrin, but they say, oh, once a Bobcat, always a Bobcat. It's true.
There are stories attached to everything that have to do with this program. And I want to tell you a story. From 2006 to 2009, I worked at USA Rugby on the From 2006 to 2009, I worked at USA Rugby as the emerging sports program manager to expand opportunity for women's NCAA rugby. And on April 14th, 2009, I was let go from USA Rugby. And the CEO at that time said, the country just doesn't care about NCAA women's rugby. So we're eliminating the initiative. And at 28 years old, what you think to yourself is, I'm going to prove you wrong. And we did. We made this. And we made NYRA. And ironically, on April 14th, 2026, Quinnipiac University eliminated the very first NCAA Division I women's rugby program. I'm going to say that again because EIU was the first, so I'll say I'll go again, okay? What post?
Ironically.
Yeah. And ironically, on April 14th, 2026, Quinnipiac University chose to eliminate our women's rugby program. And essentially saying the same thing that the CEO of USA Rugby said in 2009, that the country just doesn't care about women's rugby. And that's not true. Yeah.